few episodes later, we were watching a character of an old man. Inventions to fight the Goa'uld. And
Oh boy.
Michael, I got halfway through the episode and I was like, oh my God, it's Michael.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It was like, oh my God, what
Well,
a
I'm glad.
performance and makeup.
Oh yeah.
Had you ever played a 100-year-old character before?
No, no.
And was that the plan to be you all along?
No, no. It was in the early days of the show, just like with stuff like Need and whatnot. Mike Greenberg was a. I don't know. I knew he was a big fan of my work.
Mm.
And also the fact that I was enthusiastic because I was young and enthusiastic that he would try and get me to do stuff that was just completely I wasn't expecting to have happen. And I don't know if it was because I would do it for free or it was because I would do it with enthusiasm and aplomb. Like a story I've never really told is that, and I will someday put these on social media, is that in Torment of Tantalus, for example, up until the 11th hour, I was going to play young Ernest, Littlefield, in the flashback sequences, the black and white stuff that Paul McGillian did. I was going to play the younger version. We did a bunch of camera tests with me with a mustache and stuff like this because we wanted it, or I shouldn't say we. They liked the idea, and Michael Greenberg especially liked the idea of the character being so completely relatable that there was a parallel between Daniel and Ernest when he was younger, kind of thing, drawing it completely where they're played by the same actor, and we did it. And
Catherine would have been drawn to him.
Yeah,
and
too. we just couldn't get it so that it was we didn't want the audience to be confused.
Okay,
that's what ended up happening. But we did camera tests with it. I've got some pictures of it. It was kind of hilarious. The mustache, I looked like a pedophile, but that's a whole other story. But Michael used to be a big fan. Like that's how I ended up doing the voice of Thor. Was he just came to me?
That was Greenberg.
Yeah, he said, look, we got this character that I don't know if he's going to be recurring throughout. He's like this little alien guy, blah blah blah, and we want a good actor to do a voice. There's not much. There's a couple lines. It was from the Thor's Chariot, I believe, was when
that's when the character, the Asgard form of him first appears.
Yeah, that's and right. So he only had a couple lines in that, and so I was like, oh sure, yeah, I'll do it because I had an idea of how that voice should sound, and we did that. Little did I know that character would end up like having wads of dialogue because I did it for free, and then later on when I got an episode like Fair Game where the Goa'uld Council thing, where he spoke more than most characters in the entire thing. I said, "Hang on a second.
Do you get guest pay for that performance?"
Yeah, we're gonna compensate.
Yeah, for sure. And in a situation like Machello, you're playing. You are a fit. They'd have to comp. You are a guest star in that episode as well as a regular.
No, they didn't. They didn't. I was so happy to do it. What happened was
you didn't get paid for Machello.
No, because I was so happy to do it because it was such a great opportunity. This is the thing. I'm free, right? Like this is why they love bringing stuff to me because I do it for nothing. But
they love bringing you stuff because you're good.
Because I love doing it. I love doing it. And Dave Dupuis, Emmy award-winning makeup artist. What happened was that they had it wasn't a huge part because Machello didn't have a lot of lines. And so they were looking for somebody that was like really old. And at that particular time in the mid to late 90s, there weren't a lot of actors in Vancouver. They didn't want to bring somebody in, and there weren't a lot of actors in Vancouver that fit that bill because there's not even now, but there just weren't many that had made a living in Vancouver that aged up to like 80, 85 years old kind of thing. And so they'd had trouble finding somebody to sort of fit the bill. And Mike came to me and said, what do you think about you playing the part? And I went, dude, I'd love to. And So we talked about it with Brad and John Glasner, and they were behind it. They wanted to do a test, so we did the makeup test in the uh, their
Yeah.
studio, the makeup artist studio. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I want to give
Is
them
this
their
Todd
due, but
Masters?
yeah, I believe that
Masters
time it was
Effects?
Todd. I believe it was Todd,
Yeah.
but it was Dave DeQuee had come from L.A. specifically to do this one, and yeah, uh, because I'd never done that before. Like I saw when Rick had done Brief Candle when he got to Age Up, I was so jealous because I'm like, oh, because we're both big fans of Little Big Man, the Dustin Hoffman movie, and I was like, oh, I so want to like play like an old character, being 27 or whatever the hell I was. It's like I was so want to like play like an old character, and so when Mike brought this up to me, I'm like, yes, I want to do this. I even though it was like there was a 4 hour application in the morning and about 2 to 3 hours at night to take the makeup off for about 3 4 days. I can't remember what it was exactly. It was a lot of hours. But I enjoyed it. It was just fun, and I'm glad that you didn't notice right away, because that would have completely ruined the illusion. If
they're standing there near the beginning of the episode, and Daniel's going, no, I am Daniel Jackson. No, I am Daniel Jackson, and it's going over my head. It's completely going over my head.
I'm so glad because
what it was really is the twofer between yourself and yourself, where you're saying, where Machello's Daniel's buddy says, you're not going to find her. You're never going to get your wife back. And this tear comes down to your face. I will find her. That was so good, Michael.
Oh, thank you.
Man, well done. So,
opportunities, man. Opportunities.
That's it.
Yeah.
Double Jeopardy. You directed Double Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Heavy visual effects, which I would imagine, because you get a slot. You don't necessarily know what's going to be in that slot. But of course, in this case, they had to write you out of most of it, which was one of the most convincing visual effects on the show, having you, with your head, your real head, and then as opposed to your fake head, and then the circuitry underneath. What do you remember about that? You were the first of the 4 to direct, I believe.
Yeah, it was a complete debacle. It was.
Oh, really?
Well, it was. I mean, listen, in terms of how things have gone in my directing career since then, much smoother, because it wasn't. I didn't know enough. I knew enough about what I wanted to do, but I didn't know enough about managing a television set on a television timeline to be able to be handed such a large episode and be able to do it smoothly.
Okay.
I could do it now, but at the time, not being experienced, because I had sort of, as one would, I'd ask for like a small character piece. And I think the one with the preceded, which was Carter and
Entity, I think.
No, it was the one with Prodigy. That's what it was.
Okay, with the light bugs.
Prodigy was kind of the episode that I would have been more apt to do, and I get the Rob Cooper visual effects extravaganza with not one but 2 of every team member, and the War of the Planets.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. It's our goal to share a new Stargate story every day while we're on break. Please feel free to subscribe to future episodes here on YouTube. And if you have Stargate friends who might like this clip, let them know about us. Be sure to visit dialthegate.com to view the complete archive, as well as transcripts from past interviews. I'll see you on the other side.